We're wearing black because we're in mourning.
What are we mourning?
You'll find out.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Hello, sisters in Satan.
Hello there.
This is Ellie.
I think this is Brittany.
And this, yeah, I think. I'm like, what? What are we doing?
What are we doing?
This is Smut Swap.
Take two,
if
you will.
Because once again, we've regressed to me not knowing how to operate the sound equipment, and also like,
and I just sit here,
and also just like me having my camera die.
Yep.
In the middle of recording. So
it's okay.
Welcome back.
That's fine.
To take two. The good thing about hosting with Kelly is she like forgets things immediately. So
yes, my brain is like Dory from Finding Nemo. So it's nothing stops. It just like goes through.
Yeah, this will all be brand new to her.
It's not that bad. Okay.
Yeah, it's not that bad. So if you follow us on TikTok, which we did gain a bunch of new people in the last couple of days.
I think 12?
Yeah.
Maybe?
So if you're following us on TikTok, you already know that this week's book is Between Two Kings, which is Kiss of the Basilisk, numero dos.
Yes, I'm very excited to listen to this again.
Again, because it was really funny.
It was really funny.
It was so fun.
And I was starting to get sleepy towards the end, so I don't know if I was like disassociating for part of it. So
you might have. So what we're going to do is, a la the old ways of recording this when we were still in Kelly's basement, we're going to record part of this and then go eat dinner with our friend, and then we're going to come back and finish it out.
Yeah, so that's why we actually look presentable.
Like I have like actual makeup on. My hair is done. I'm wearing a dress.
Yeah,
and all that jazz.
I did actually. I intended to wear a dress. I stopped at Target and got like sheer pantyhose. Put them on, ripped them immediately. But it was like up here, and I was like, oh, maybe I can salvage them. Ripped them down at the calf level.
Ooh. Okay, so today at work, I was talking to the girls, Angelica and Beatrice. And Angelica was like, oh, are those the ones that have the lining? And I was like, yeah. She said they have a square on the butt. And I was like, yeah. She was
How do you know?
She was like, I have those too. And then Beatrice was like, I don't understand what you're talking about. And so I was like, come over here. We went into the little like lunchroom that class has. We closed the door and I showed them my butt.
Oh, I love that.
You know what?
It's fine. Just girly things.
Just girly things. Showing your butt to your friends at work.
Yep. I also bought our friend a card and I left it on my table.
Well,
I showed Macy. I'm like, you should sign this.
You'll see her again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's fine.
She's not dead to you. All right. What are you reading?
I am reading I Hope This Finds You Well. I think it's by Emma Sue is the name. Love it so far. I've laughed. I've cried. It's so freaking funny. It's written so well. It's this author's debut novel.
Oh, I love.
And it's so. I just want to make sure I get the author's name right because I love this so much. Natalie Sue, not Emma. My bad.
Close. Okay, and
then I'm also listening to How to Talk to Anyone, 62 Little Tricks for Big Success in Relationships, written by Lyle Lowndes.
Oh, okay. So now it makes more sense why this man.
It's Leil. So I don't know if that's a female.
Oh, I don't know either. I was going to say, because absolutely no way a woman wrote about penis do.
It sounds like something you would read in the 1920s. It's like some article in a newspaper about how to be a proper woman.
Ew. Hate.
It's that sense. I'm still going to listen because it's only 3 hours, but. What about you?
Well, I still have not finished Don't Let Him In. 75 books. Week 3 is not going great.
No.
I don't think next week's going to go great for me either, just because of Eric being home and the holiday. So
here's the thing, though. I feel like you have a lot in your bank. You read a lot.
I do have a lot in my bank. I have, aside from this, 2 other books in my bank.
It's fine.
Yeah, so we're good. It's just that I want to read 100 books this year, and I'm only at 80.
Oh my God, only at 80.
I'm only at 80. Oh, gosh.
I might be at half of that now.
Yeah, but that's still good.
That's good for me.
Are you all ready?
I'm ready.
Let's dive in.
Let's do it.
Tony, keep it calm in the chat. And also, send me $40. You told me that you would, and then those boys were talking shit. Send me $40.
40 for
If you're
what?
listening, send me $40 for having to deal with those boys.
Oh, just because.
Yeah.
I'll take 40 also.
Yeah. So send it to us. Okay, so
let's swap some
Between
smut.
Two Kings. Here we go. We open with Caspin and Tem doing the nasty against a tree. And Tem tells us this is her very first time doing it this way.
Oh, against a tree?
Against a tree.
Oh.
You know, as one does when they learn everything from the man that they're doing it with. They finish up. They head back to their caves where there's this note waiting for Tem from the Human King asking her to come to the castle, and he wants her to come alone. She and Caspian have a discussion about whether she should go or not, and ultimately she decides to go. In the castle, she's waiting for Leo, who's called her there to move forward with their annulment. She asks if he found Evelyn, and he's just like, yep. There's a lot of underlying tension between the pair in the beginning of this book, particularly in this chapter. I think that she talks about like brushing her hand against his, like their pinkies touch, and she feels like this fire inside of her. Ooh. And she's like, I wonder if he feels it too.
There's still something there.
There's still something there. So they head down to the dungeon because that's where Leo's father is being held. And the way that it works in this world is the person who marries you is the person who has to divorce you, hence needing to go down to Leo's dad.
Yeah, lots of things make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So when they get down there, Maximus asks Leo if it's hard knowing the truth, to which Leo again replies simply with a yes. Tem and Brittany both wonder what the fuck this dude is talking about, because I was like, the truth about what? And now that I think about it, I know what he was talking about. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Okay.
All right.
The truth is going to be about a certain lady that he went and found.
Ooh, Evelyn,
okay, Evelyn, maybe. Once the annulment is signed by all parties, Tem goes to take her leave. At one point, she tells Leo that she misses him, and she sees this flash of hurt run across his face, but he like wipes it away pretty quickly. He tells her that missing him will fade, and he also asks for Tem and Caspian to join he and Evelyn weekly on Sundays for dinner. It is about sending an olive branch for the Basilisk Kingdom and the Human Kingdom to figure out a way to govern their people in a way that is mutually beneficial for each party involved.
Okay.
Politics.
We love it.
We love it. So Tem is like, I don't think that Caspian's going to agree. And he's like, we'll figure out a way to like convince him. To convince Tem, he tells her there's going to be good food and good dessert. And she's like, sign me up.
You know the way to my heart.
He does. She really tells us that she feels torn between these two men. So once Tem gets home from her annulment, she and Caspian once again get down to business, because that's all that basilisks do. Govern their people? No. Fuck constantly. So up first, we have a little face sitting.
Oh.
And not just, you know, well, she tries to politely hover over his face.
Yeah.
But he's not about that. He says,
like,
suffocate me. And then he... And then he like hits it from behind, and I was like, wow, there's like a lot going on, and we're only in chapter 2.
Things have escalated.
It's really like, you know what? I should have expected it. So,
but she's also half basilisk, so she's full on horn dog.
She's horned up all the time. All the time. So after they're done, we learn a little bit more about life for the basilisks in the caves. Meal times are whenever you feel hungry, and so there's no set time, and often there's a lot of fornication happening in the banquet hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
On the tables, on the floors, against the walls. At one point, Tem looks over and sees this like ritual of sorts. She sees this pair of basilisks where the male is sitting and the woman is sitting on his lap, and he is inside of her.
He has penetrated her entrance.
Has entered her, but no one's moving, and Tem is like, what's that?
Why?
And Caspian's like, oh, it's about experiencing the other person. And all that flashed through my head in this moment is this soaking?
Soaking in basilisk horror?
Yeah, like, is this the smut version of soaking?
Someone's behind them with the chair, like...
It's Caspian.
Yeah. Let me help you out.
So they partake. They experience each other.
Are they, like, eating, like, mid hop?
They're like feeding each other as she's sitting. Well, Tim, our girl, she still hasn't told Caspin about her agreeing to them dining with Leo and Evelyn, but she does learn that Caspin is cool with fucking whoever she wants, but there is a caveat, and it is very important that you remember this. So if you're listening, remember this. If you remember nothing else I say, remember this.
Listen. Turn on your listening ears.
Are they on? Is this thing on? I do that to my kids. Anyway, she can sleep with whoever she wants. She can be free with her body. She cannot be free with her heart. So if she has sex with somebody that she loves, it's done for. Basilisks are fiercely loyal with their hearts, but your body, you can be as loose with that as you want.
Not your sticks or your coos.
Yeah, just remember that basilisks, when in their human form in the caves, they don't wear clothes. So you just be as loose with your body as you want.
It's like a nudist colony up in there, right?
Yep, sure is. As soon as you get into the cave, lose it. He also tells her that when Basilisk Custom becomes too much for her, she has to tell him. And she's like, what do you mean when? And he's like, no, it will happen. And it's prompted by him telling her that mating season is coming up soon. And mating season is not in this world about breeding. It is about finding someone that you want to be with always, like marriage almost.
Okay. Finding a mate.
Finding your mate.
But not for babies.
Not for babies.
For humping.
Only. But you can hump whoever you want.
Whilst
it doesn't have to be your mate.
Got it.
Okay, so she visits her mom and her dad at their new home, and she has this really long chat with her dad because he's really the only person she can talk to about her boy troubles for whatever reason. She tells him that the only reason that she did the ritual was to save Leo. And then she realizes that maybe she made a mistake. The ritual is with Caspin's dad. By the way, if you haven't watched our first episode on Kiss of the Basilisk, it's in the cards. It's linked below. Go listen to it. It's maybe 2 episodes back from the one that you're watching right now. It's funny.
I can't remember what we titled it.
It's called 3 Pump Chump.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go listen to 3 Pump Chump.
Yeah, it's really funny, and we had a fun time. But yeah, so she did the ritual with Caspin's dad in order to marry Caspin to save Leo's life. Anyway, Tem leaves her father and her mother's home, and she goes to seek out her bestie, Gabriel. He's the gay one. He's at the bar, like always.
A little drunkard.
Just a little. She tells him everything that happens in the previous book, basically. And it's nearly dawn when she finally is able to make her way back home to the caves. Gabriel keeps trying to convince her, as she's telling him all about what life in the caves is like, to hook him up with a basilisk. When she tells him about the constant sex, he's like, hey, that sounds like it's the right place for me.
Hook your gay bestie up.
Hook your gay bestie up. The stable boys can't keep up with me anymore. Okay, so in case you all forgot, mating season is going to start today. Before they make their way down to the festivities, Tem tells Caspin about the weekly dinners with Leo. Finally. He is like, girl, that is so naive to think that having these dinners will help us govern these 2 kingdoms, but I'll decide later. I don't have time for this right now. I will decide later if we're going to go to this dinner with the royals. So at the mating festivities, there are basilisks falling down in front of Tem and Caspin left and right to have sex in front of them. They fucking everywhere in here. And Caspin...
This is just in the cave?
Yep.
Yep. Basilisk everywhere?
Just falling down.
In human form?
Yeah. Just falling down, having sex. Remember, because, basilisks can kill each other with their stare if the other basilisk is in human form. So yes, they are in human form. Okay. Just falling down at Tem and Caspin's feet, fucking left and right.
Like a bunch of rabbits.
Just like a bunch of rabbits. Caspin tells Tem that this is because they hope that she'll join in with them, as it would be a supreme honor to have the Queen of the Basilisks enter a 3-way with them. She's like, hey, so maybe I don't really want to do that. Do you want to do that? And he is like, girl, no, you are superior to everyone that I have ever been with, and I have experienced everything, which includes men. So Tem...
This is not new to him.
It's not new to him.
It's new to Tem.
It's very new to Tem. And her insecurity just really grated on me because I'm like, damn, we're only 3 chapters in and she is so insecure still. Remember like when he gave her the vibra claw in the first book and she was like, will you think of me? And he's like, I already told you I would.
Yeah, I feel like she was really secure.
Yes. I'm like, come on, girl, get your life together.
Being a sass to the king.
Yes.
Or a prince?
Yes.
Was he a prince or a king?
Which one, Leo? Leo was a prince in the first one. Now he's a king.
Got it.
Okay, so she's turned on by the fact that he's been with men. So they're chatting out loud and through their little mind link connection when a man with a fully erect stick approaches this fountain that's in the center of the room, which he ejaculates into. And I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Apparently, this fountain has some magic quality that turns their essence into booze.
By essence, we mean jizz.
Yep. And that essence that is now turned into booze is what will get basilisks drunk because normal alcohol won't do it. You heard it here first, ladies and Tony. It's a cum fountain.
Gosh.
Tis a cum fountain. And Tem's like, you know what? I'll try anything once.
Give me a shot of that.
So Caspin gets a glass of it. He sticks his finger in and like, I almost said baby birds, but he doesn't put it in his mouth. He just like lets her lap it off his finger like a little kitten. And it's just one little drop. And she is more drunk than she has ever been in her entire life.
So it's like acid cum.
Yep. And she's like, take me right here, right now, Caspin. I need you biblically right now. So
missionary, get there.
So he does. He finishes as she's like choking him out, and she very quickly follows
into the fountain, or no?
No.
Where they lay?
Yes.
Or stand?
Where they lay or stand. I can't remember if they were laying or standing. And at this point, this random basilisk walks up and makes a joke about Caspin's stamina. And I was like, oh, okay. So Caspin's like, oh, Tem, this is my brother Apollo. And I was like, oh.
She can't reach his hand, so she just shakes the stick. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, sir.
That's an Abby phrase, if you know our friend Abby.
Oh, my God.
Nice to meet you.
Yep, if you know Abby.
Tony, you know.
Tony. Okay, so Apollo, as it turns out, looks very similar to his and Caspin's father, and it's not necessarily just in the way that you're thinking.
His face? Not just his face?
Oh, he does kind of look like him in the face, but no. He had his father's cock. Impossibly thick at the base, Tem tells us, as she flushes at the sight before her.
It's like a tree trunk there. Wow.
So Apollo has this very flirtatious demeanor. So he flirts with Tem before leaving to seek his pleasure elsewhere. Caspin tells Tem that Apollo will expect her to sleep with him, which Tem says she will refuse. Something about this is like, okay, so if Caspin were to die, Apollo, as the eldest brother to, like after Caspin, would get first rights to marrying Tem.
Okay.
And Tem's like, hey, so just don't die. And Caspin's like, hey, I will try my hardest not to. So Apollo has first rights. And so in order for him to determine if he would like to exercise those first rights, Tem would have to sleep with him before Caspin dies so that he knows if he wants to actually marry her in the event that his brother dies.
Again, it doesn't make sense.
Again, there is also a younger brother. So I think it goes Caspin, Apollo, and then the younger brother, whose name is Damon. He is the youngest brother, like I said. And Tem immediately is like, I like him a lot more than Apollo. He's much more tame, I guess, is the way that I would describe him. He's level. He doesn't like come in guns a-blazing like, you know,
slinging his daddy stick around.
Okay, so she and Caspin are kissing a little. She feels him stiffen. And I said, not his stick, you absolute freaks.
Get your minds out of it.
He hears dissent over Tem being the basilisk queen. And I don't remember if it was like verbal dissent or if he hears people like via the mind link. So he's like, I gotta go. I'm gonna go break this up. So Tem seeks out someone who she can chat with. And she ends up talking to Adelaide while she waits for him to finish up with those like hooligans. We learn through Adelaide, because she is part of Roe's quiver, that Roe is probably going to seek retaliation for Caspin mutilating his stick after he attempted to crest Tem in the first book. So if we recall, he ripped off Rose's dick for attempting to crest Tem.
Oh gosh,
I
forgot about that.
Yeah. So we're moving on quickly because a mattress is being brought forth, upon which a blood-bound pair of basilisks will seek the queen's blessing for their bond. How do they receive the blessing?
By word?
She blessed.
Oh.
No.
No sword?
No sword.
Bless. A little smooch on the cheek?
A little smooch on the cheek? Nope. Tem has to watch the pair have sex. But the blessing is that she must climax whilst watching them have sex. And she's like, I don't want to do that. And Caspian's like, it doesn't matter if you want to. You have to.
You must. As our queen.
As the queen, you must. So they go back and forth a few times. And she is like, fine, whatever. She watches them and she climaxes while staring at Apollo's stick.
What?
Yeah.
Not Caspian?
No, not Caspian.
She's his brother?
She's like, fuck my husband. Let me look at that daddy stick.
Give me that daddy stick.
Because once again, she does compare it to the father's, whose name I forget. I think it was like Bastian.
Did she even like the father?
She liked having sex with the father.
Oh my god.
I know, a little hussy. She can't rein it in.
It's like Credence.
Kind of.
But not stepbrothers.
But not step.
Well, I guess they're not related to her.
Yeah, they're not.
That's fine. It's like a family affair.
Kelly's never read Credence.
I've only heard about it 25
Through me.
times.
Every time.
Maybe I will read it.
You should.
And do it for the podcast.
Okay.
You heard it here
if you want Kelly to read Credence and do it for the podcast, leave a comment below.
Okay. I
Okay.
might just do it anyways, but still, comment so we know you love us.
Leave a comment so that we know. We yearn for your validation.
Please love us.
So once the blessing is done, Tem and Caspian then go several rounds on the mattress before he carries her up to bed because baby girl cannot keep up.
That pelvis is inflamed.
She asks him, it's not broken this time.
It's just a little sore.
She's a little sore. She's like, how old are you?
What?
She asks Caspian, how old are you? And he says, 17. And she says, how long have you been 17?
Did that really happen?
No.
That's Twilight.
That was Twilight.
That's Twilight.
I didn't even put that in my notes. I just was like, I have to do it. It's so funny. Caspian will not tell this woman how old he is. Spoiler alert, we never find out how old he is in this book. So instead of pushing him to tell her how old he is, she's like, how did your mother die? And he tells her.
Serious chats.
So he's like, okay, so what happened is my father actually killed my mother for sleeping with somebody else. And she's like, I thought that we could have sex with whoever we want. And he was like, yes, that is true. However, there is a curse through the blood bond that will snitch on you if you sleep with someone you love. Such was the case for Caspian's mother and father. She brings up loving Leo in this instant, and Caspian possessively tells her that she loves him and she chose him. So he's like, no, you love me. You chose me. You don't love Leo.
She's like, but what if I do?
But what if I do? She's like, hey, I'm just trying to be honest with you. I might actually love somebody else as well. And he's like, nope, only me. At this point,
she's like, oh, okay.
At this point, she tells us that she feels shackled to Caspian. And I was like, girl, do you love him? Because I feel like you only think about Leo. Mm-hmm. And I understand, you probably are thinking about him a lot more because you can't be with him. But she's thinking about him while she's having sex with Caspian. There is distinctly a part where she closes the connection between them while they're having sex because she's like, I cannot let this man know that I am thinking about Leo.
Did he crest her in the first book?
Who, Caspian?
Yeah.
No.
Because I'm like, did he just crest her to be in love?
No.
Okay.
No.
Sorry, that was my hypothesis.
He did not. I genuinely believe that she did love him in the first book. I don't think that she loves him in the second one.
Maybe it's where two things can be true. She loves him, but she also loathes him.
Yeah, possible.
At the second time.
It's possible. So... next chapter, this letter arrives requesting Tem for dinner. And
Did I say at the second time? At the same time?
At the same damn time.
I can't speak anymore. I need wine.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we're going, so. So, next day, a letter arrives from the king requesting Tem for dinner. And at the end of the letter, it says, bring your husband. Caspian's like, fine, I'll go, I guess. I don't want to, but I'll do anything for you. On the ride over, Tem is extremely anxious. Caspian keeps telling her over and over again that she needs to relax. And she's like, I literally can't. And he's like, all right, I'm going to help you relax. And he doesn't do the thing that basilisks can do where he like uses his emotions to make her calm. He's like, I got a better way. Let me finger you.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. He undoes the top of her dress so that he can like put her nipples in his mouth, but he does not let her reach her climax. Instead, he makes her a new vibraclaw. And just as the vibraclaw is being put in place, they arrive at the palace.
She's like, oh, this is the perfect way to calm me down.
Great. I'm on edge.
It's worse now.
It's worse. Once inside, Caspian and Tem are arguing internally because Caspian is like, you have to shake Evelyn's hand. And she's like, I don't want to. So he takes the lead. He shakes her hand first. And then it's Tem's turn. And she tells us that Evelyn's hand is so clammy that she wants to barf.
Feels like a corpse or something.
Yep, something. They sit down at this circular dinner table with Tem sitting directly across from Leo. And this is kind of a no one's in charge here, olive branch type deal.
Okay.
Because there's no head at the table. It's a circle. So as they're sitting down and she's across from Leo, Caspian hits her with the first pulse from that vibraclaw. She's like, all right, I'm going to attempt to ignore this and talk to Evelyn.
Caspian's just like staring with like this little grin on his face.
I just picture it. So she asks Evelyn why Evelyn left. And Evelyn's like, well, Leo wrote me a letter. Tem's like, well, why didn't you come back? And Evelyn tells her that Leo told her in the letter that he didn't love her. Leo is like, I didn't say that, and I did not write the letter. So talk shifts over to the upcoming wedding between Evelyn and Leo, and Evelyn tells Caspian that they're going to marry on Mother's birthday. It's like the winter solstice, their goddess's birthday, Cora's birthday rather, which immediately outrages Tem. But Caspian once again talks her down via their mind link. He's like, hey, she can get married whenever she wants to. It doesn't matter to you. You have me. They have each other. Just let these fucking humans do what they're going to do. So he starts up the pulses again. Finally, Tem calls out to him in her mind that she can't take it anymore. So he lets her climax at the table. Tem is like, there is no way that Leo, who is sitting directly across from me, does not know what happened. He has seen my O face before. He knows what it looks like.
He's been real up close.
He's been real up close and personal. But Evelyn's the one who asks Tem, hey, are you okay? Your face is suddenly flushed. And
what's happening?
What's happening? And Tem's like, there is literally no polite way to tell this woman that I've just climaxed at this dinner table. I'm fine.
Do you have a napkin, though?
Yeah. So there's this shortage that has hit the human kingdom, and Tem isn't really sure immediately what's being talked about. But Caspian, via their mind link, is like, hey, she's talking about rather, the money shortage. Tem is really mad that Evelyn is bringing this up, and she's like, hey, you have to find a better way to make money. And Evelyn's like, well, we had a way to make money, but Leo stopped it. And Caspian he's been so even-tempered throughout this meal, and this is where he doesn't like say anything, but you can see in his face that he is fed the fuck up.
He's like, this bitch.
He's like, we're not doing that. They end up finishing the meal in silence. So Caspian and Tem are getting ready to leave to go back to the caves when Evelyn's like, excuse me, Tem, I'd like to speak to you alone for a moment.
Tem's like, really? I would
really
rather do anything but
that. So the next chapter, I don't have very many notes because what happens is we spend the entire chapter with the two girls basically having the I like the same guy pissing contest, where each girl is trying to out psychological warfare the other in regard to the relationship that they each have with Leo.
Even though Tem's husband is literally out in the other room.
Yep. Tem's husband out there, and she's like, but I still like him.
He was mine first.
I loved him first. That's not even the song.
It sounded great, though.
I know, thank you. It ends with Tem standing up and telling Evelyn, we will not be meeting like this again.
Wow.
You just look and see actually how far away it is. I think it's like 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Caspian is waiting for Tem in the foyer when she leaves Evelyn. He asks her to come home, and she's like, I can't.
4 minutes.
Oh, okay. We're good.
We have some time.
We have some time. So Caspian is like, hey, let's go home. And she's like, I can't. She instead decides to go to the village, specifically to this pub that she and Gabriel would frequent when she still lived in the village. And that's where she finds Gabriel. We learn that Gabriel is actually behind all of these protests that are going on within the kingdom, the village, protesting the lack of food, because obviously lack of money leads to lack of food. Lack of food pisses off the villagers. Gabriel tells us that the new queen eats well, and he would know because he works in the castle, but the rest of the village is starving.
Wow, what an economy.
I know.
Just eating meals and throwing parties with like women dancing.
Yep, with your gold grouted floors. Meanwhile,
people are starving because there are SNAP benefits. I mean the kingdom is really poor.
Down. It's so poor.
We digress.
But we digress. You came here for books, but this book is really political. I'm just saying. So the protesters, I don't think it's coming here. Oh. The protesters end up storming the town square and they're chanting, kill the snakes. And then someone ends up smearing like chicken shit on the wall of the church, which spells out the words, feed us.
Wow.
When it's over, Tem returns to the cave where she ends up searching for Caspian. She's very much alone when a voice behind her says, all alone tonight, Temperance. Temperance. Well, that's Apollo behind her. She and Apollo have another round of flirting that ends with her snapping at him, slapping him across the face, seeing what she thinks is a flicker of hurt in his eyes because she's like, I will never love you. She tries to apologize, but he's like, hey, accepting your apology, that would be a comfort to you, not me. And you should only seek me out when you need to be fucked in a way that my brother can't or won't fuck you, and not seek me out for comfort because I won't be providing you any sort of comfort.
Only sexual pleasure.
Only sexual pleasure.
Or pain.
Or pain, whatever you're into. Caspian was actually out hunting. And Tem's like, oh, that hurts my feelings because that's a thing that we do together. But Tem is having a hard time transitioning into her basilisk. So Caspian just didn't even think about, not taking her. He does notice that she has a bruise on her cheek. He heals it for her and he asks what happened. So she's explaining that Gabriel's organizing these protests because the villagers are starving. Caspian is like, well, maybe the royals should have had the forethought to not use the basilisks for bloodletting for gold. But Tem is like, they couldn't possibly know that this would be the outcome.
Right. They had no idea.
She's very torn between the basilisk side of herself and her human side. They bicker about her not knowing how to petrify. She thinks that this is a way for her to protect herself. But Caspian is like, no, I don't want to teach you that. I don't want you to learn that. You don't need to know that. They end up staring at each other in silence before Tem reaches up to his shoulders to brush some stray leaves off from his hunting trip. And that's when they start kissing. She goes to deepen the kiss, but he pulls back, saying we can't right now. And she's like, am I being rejected?
What?
Is my
husband?
I don't know what I was going for. Is my
I was waiting. I was looking
is my horned up all the time husband actually withholding sex from me?
And from me?
He's like, hey, I would love to, but we can't right now. We gotta go. Mating season awaits.
She's like, I know, I'm trying to mate with you.
She's like, I'm trying to breed with you. So Caspian has to go talk to the council. So Tem is once again left alone. She seeks out Adelaide and she's like, oh my God, girl, you'll never believe what happened. Apollo was flirting with me and I slapped him across the face. Adelaide tells her that Caspian and Apollo are the same. And Tem is like, I really don't see it. Adelaide's like, well, I've slept with both of them and I can tell you right now, as someone who is also currently sleeping with their sister, all those Dracones, they're the same. I'll tell you right now.
All the same.
I would know. They're all the same.
Been with them all. Even the daddy.
Probably has. Caspian rejoins just as the basilisks start forming this circle. It's an Ouroboros of pleasure.
It's like a circle jerk.
It is. The circle shape is sacred to the basilisks. Caspian tells Tem that this ceremony will be complete once every basilisk in the circle climaxes. The circle will get smaller and smaller as time goes on because as each basilisk climaxes, they have to leave the circle. Caspian tells Tem it's not expected.
So weird.
I know.
It's like a race to come.
That's what it really is. Caspian's like, hey, you don't have to participate. But she's like, I kind of want to. But I don't want anybody else's stick in my mouth. And he's like, okay, you will choose someone who I will pleasure. You will also choose someone who will pleasure you. And that person should be someone who makes you feel safe. So for Caspian, she picks out this basilisk who is so similar looking to Leo that I was like, okay. And Caspian was like, okay, noted. He looks so similar to Leo, but
see
okay.
a resemblance here.
Slim, blonde, long fingers, all of the above.
Long fingers, okay.
She talks about his fingers a lot. I don't know what to say.
What the fuck?
For herself, she chooses...
I've already forgotten. I've listened to this.
Who did you say the last time? Do you remember?
Wasn't it a chick?
It was. Adelaide. She chooses Adelaide.
I wanted to say like Anastasia, and I'm like, that's not right.
She chooses Adelaide to be the one to pleasure her. So Adelaide is communicating with Tem through the mind link, just as Tem is about to orgasm. I'm sorry. Adelaide is communicating with Tem through the mind link the whole time because she's like, I know how to get you there. I will work you through it. And just as Tem is about to orgasm, she feels Apollo's presence like enter her mind and she's like, oh, fuck. So Apollo is powering his way through this circle. I feel like he made at least 6 basilisks come before he...
you can see his eyes darting around. He powers through men and women.
Just like hungry hippos, like...
Just hopping to the next.
On to the next. So finally he is at Adelaide. And she's like, Tem, I'm going to do everything that I can to resist this. But he is simply the best at this through the mind link. But Apollo is in Tem's brain. So he hears this and he's like, thank you so much. And Adelaide's like, I'm staunchly ignoring him. So,
and then Tem's like, but should I wait?
No, Tem's like freaking out. She's like, Caspian, you have to help me. So Caspian and Adelaide team up in Tem's mind to help her relax enough that she's able to reach her climax before Adelaide reaches hers.
And this is the third act conflict.
We're not even in the third act. We're only 8 pages into my notes.
Oh my gosh.
So as Tem finds her release, she shoots an image into Caspian's brain of Apollo pleasuring Tem because she doesn't want Adelaide to be on Caspian's stick either. She just feels really jealous. Okay. So Caspian comes too. Adelaide finishes shortly thereafter, and Tem's finding herself a little jealous. She's not sure if she's jealous of Adelaide for having Apollo on her, or if she's jealous of Apollo for having his mouth on the Leo lookalike.
Let's just revisit something.
Yeah.
So for Caspian to finish, he has to imagine Apollo on Tem.
I'm sure that he could have finished, but she was like, I'm making this fast.
So let me send a visual snapshot of your bro.
Here's a visual of your brother.
On your wife.
On your wife.
Because that'll do it for you.
Yep. Soon enough, we're down to the final 2 basilisks. One of them is from Caspian's quiver, and one of them is from Rose. It seems like neither of them are close to hitting that point, which is a problem. Tem is like, hey, remember when I was fucking your dad during the ritual and there was a hive orgasm? I could probably make that happen again. And Caspian's like, you cannot force something like that. It's extremely rare. But Tem's like, I believe in me.
I can do anything.
I'm the hybrid. I can do anything. So they assume the position. The position is standing upright with Tem's legs wrapped around Caspian's waist.
But face towards the floor. It's like a praying mantis move. Just kidding, sorry.
You're good. So as they're going at it and all the hissing starts around them, which is an indicator of the hive orgasm, these male basilisks start to approach with anger in their eyes. And Caspian's like, we got to stop this right now.
Oh, no.
So he tells all of them to stop in his mind.
Do not orgasm.
Apollo approaches them, telling Caspian he needs to get Tem to safety. These men are from the Seneca quiver, which is Rose quiver, who want to take Tem's power for themselves. Caspian and Tem do end up leaving, and she tells him she knows he won't let anybody harm her. They also talk about the ways in which these men could take her power, by talking about how Caspian was able to take his father's power. If you forgot, Caspian killed his father and cannibalized him. And when he killed his father, he was able to absorb all of his father's power. There is also a way to siphon power. You don't necessarily have to kill the basilisk. All right. Once again,
got it.
We are at a Sunday dinner, and the basilisk king and queen must go to meet with the humans yet again. Immediately upon entry to the palace, Tem notices there is some very elaborate decor around the foyer. Leo is like, this is all Evelyn's doing, and Caspian and Tem are like, this shit is ridiculous.
This shit is bananas.
Dinner is really tense. Evelyn's yammering away about the upcoming nuptials, and Tem finds herself growing angrier and angrier. Caspian senses that she's about to transition and tells her that she needs to calm down, but she can't. Leo looks at her from across the table and mouths, "You okay? Evan Sanders, is that you?" Lost my place. So when Leo mouths across the table to Tem, she excuses herself from the table. Well, he says, "You okay?" mouthing it at her. Then he says Tem out loud, and she's like, "Excuse me." She goes to the bathroom.
I need a break.
I need a break. She goes to the bathroom, and Litley's sister knocks on the door, talking to Tem in the bathroom, and she's like, "Look, girl, you should probably just confess that you still love my brother." Tem's like, "I really can't do that." Lily is not a fan of Evelyn. After dinner's over, Tem she rejoins, and when dinner's over, Leo's like, "Hey, Tem, would you mind if I have a private word?" And both partners, Caspian and Evelyn, are extremely displeased by this. But Tem agrees. They talk about how Tem almost transitioned, how the crest works. They tiptoe once again around their feelings for one another. Tem suggests to Leo that he write her letters and hide them from Evelyn to help him kind of work through his feelings for her. Mm-hmm. Maybe if he writes it down, he'll get it all out. He won't love her anymore. And he's like, "Fine, I'll do that." And she's like, "Would you like me to write you back?" And he's like, "No."
No, I'm good.
"No, I absolutely would not like you to write me back." Tem goes back to the caves, and she once again cannot find Caspian. So she ends up going to sleep alone, and when she wakes up, wouldn't you know it, she's alone still. Given that she didn't eat much at dinner the night before, she's starving when she wakes up, and she's like, "All right, I can do this. I am part basilisk. Let me go to the banquet hall alone." You know, where the basilisks are constantly in the throes of passion.
Is this the end of that chapter?
No, okay. Almost. She finds a seat, and shortly after, Apollo approaches her to do a little flirty flirt. They go back and forth with her telling him, he needs to try harder. I don't know what the hell's going on out there. He walks away from the table and sits at a table behind Tem, where he enters her mind and tells her to turn around and spread her legs. She complies. Spread them. She complies with one of those commands and turns around to look at him. Then she takes over giving the orders, telling Apollo to touch himself. He is way more receptive at following orders than she was.
He's like, "Okay."
They build and build and build this tension, with Tem finally complying and spreading her legs. He's sending her visions of what he wants to do to her, and she's full on masturbating in front of him on the cusp of orgasm when Caspian plops down beside her.
"What you doing?"
In her mind, he's like, "Well, carry on." So she does.
He's like, "Don't let me stop you.
Don't let my presence stop you from getting off to my brother." So he and Caspian, Apollo and Caspian, are both in Tem's mind. Apollo's like, put Caspian's hand to work. And she's like, "Okay, great." She grabs his hand, puts Caspian to work. Soon she and Caspian are playing hide the sausage while Apollo watches them and jerks it. She comes, Apollo comes, Caspian comes. She realizes that this might have been a power play between the brothers, and she tells Caspian, "How dare you use me?" And he's like, "But did I?" And then she realizes that maybe Caspian used her, but she used Apollo.
All using somebody.
Everybody's using somebody, but that's the end of the...
Okay. We shall return after
we're gonna break for dinner. Our dinner was great. It was so long, though.
It took forever.
I know. They were super busy, though.
It was really busy.
Ugh.
It was good. Our waiter
was good.
He
was.
The food was good.
It was. And they brought me dessert for free for my birthday.
Because Brittany's birthday is next, am I on?
Yeah.
Hello? Hello?
Maybe not. No.
Hello?
There you go. Kelly.
I always do this.
You turn your stuff off, and I'm like, I came back in here, that was still on.
I don't know when I would have turned it off.
You're crazy.
Unless it fell off when it fell.
You're crazy.
I am.
All right. Well, anyway. So we left off with the trio using each other, as you recall. So Tem and Caspin discuss whether he and Apollo have done something similar to this before. And he's like, yeah, actually, we have. And she's like, how many people have you slept with? And he's like, well, I don't really know because we're not like humans. We don't keep track.
We don't have a body count.
I don't have a matchstick for a bedpost, as you will.
Which we joked about in the last episode.
We did. She ends up going to the village for a celebration that's taking place on the winter solstice annually. Or that takes place, rather, on the winter solstice annually. She overhears the villagers talking negatively of Evelyn, but speaking positively of her. And she's like, that's new. They used to talk about me all the time, and it was never good.
Wow.
So she ends up finding Gabriel and notes that she, surprisingly,
Don't mind me taking my earrings out.
Also, don't mind me. I drank sangria at dinner, and I can't speak.
This girl drank half a glass of sangria.
I take Zoloft, and I promise you,
she's feeling it.
that it will ruin my life.
That's okay.
Okay, so she finds Gabriel and is surprised to note that he is not drinking. He tells her that's because he has an event planned for the revolution tonight.
Revolution.
He tells Tem he can't be seen with her because she's one of them, aka a snake. But this hurts her feelings. And he's like, look, girl, dearest, I'm just trying to protect you. So the rebellion has decided that they're going to blow up the church. And Tem reaches out for Caspin, but she's once again finding that their connection's closed because why would he talk to her? He doesn't like her. So she instead reaches out to Apollo.
Caspian doesn't like
Caspin?
Caspin. I would say Caspian.
He doesn't want to fucking talk to her. He goes hunting without her. He lets her sleep in the bed by herself.
He's very detached.
Don't love anybody but me. While I show you that I don't really give a fuck.
While I disappear from your life.
Right. Gabriel told her that the basilisks are next for the villagers to attack, so she's trying to give him a warning. We fast forward, and she is trying to convince Caspin to let Gabriel come to the caves to see how the basilisks live. Thinking that this is a little bit wild. She thinks that this will be a way for her to convince him to call off the rebellion. Caspin tells Tem she can do whatever she wishes.
He's like, we're just freaks.
Yeah.
We mean you no harm. We just want to freak.
We just want to fuck constantly. Caspin tells Tem she can do whatever she wishes as she's a hybrid. The rules of the council don't really apply to her. She wonders if this means that she could get away with more than just bringing Gabriel to the caves. And I was like what?
Somebody texted you.
It's Eric.
Okay.
It's Sunday dinner again. When they arrive at the castle, they're not met by anyone. So Caspin decides to get a little freaky with Tem.
They're freaks.
He puts his hand up her dress to drive her a little crazy before they full on fuck in the foyer.
Not the foyer.
The foyer again? Tem thinks to herself, wow, I really wish that someone and or everyone would be here to watch us. She's sad when they finish and to see Caspin tuck his weenie back into his trousers, wishing that they could just keep going and going and going.
Just tucking it into the little band at the top. Sitting up there.
And his isn't like this, like his brother, so it's fine.
It's like this.
She's adjusting her dress. She hears someone calling her name, and when she turns around, she sees Leo, and she notices that he's looking a lot more pale than he was the last time she saw him. Leo and Evelyn were late to this dinner because they were arguing. We find out that they were arguing because Evelyn wants to go back to bloodletting. But it's going to be on a strictly voluntary basis, of course. We're not going to do it against anybody's will.
Consent always.
Consent always. Both Tem and Caspin's tempers are close to boiling over at this point in the dinner. Tem goes in on Evelyn, saying that if bloodletting is to be voluntary, then she herself volunteers as tribute. Caspin and Leo both shout no, but Evelyn presses that Tem should be able to make this choice for herself. Tem waits for Leo to make a decision, but he ends up agreeing with Evelyn. So Caspin leaves the dinner in a fury. Evelyn follows shortly after, telling Leo, finish this. Tem and Leo end up arguing back and forth. He tells her he doesn't want this, but he has to appease his future wife. He tells Tem that that this Evelyn is very different from the one from before. This Evelyn is greedy. Eventually, Tem tells him that the basilisks are done cutting themselves open for the royals, and then tells him that his father would be proud of him before she leaves. And that really hits hard for him. So Caspian is waiting for Tem in their chambers when she returns. He is livid, and they end up standing beside each other in silence for a really long time before he turns to Tem and says, "Do you have any idea how precious you are to me?" No, I don't, because you keep fucking ghosting. She's like, "Well, I think so." She like twirls her hair behind her ear. "I think so." And they end up talking about the bloodletting more. Tem is convinced that Leo doesn't really want to do this, but Caspian is like, "That man will do anything for his wife." They go back and forth, and Caspian keeps telling her that she knows what she needs to do. He wants her to use the crest's power to basically compel Leo to not do this. And she's like, "I'm not using the crest again." And he's like, "Well, if you're not going to use the crest, then I'm just going to go and I'm going to crest him myself and I'm going to do what needs to be done." She looks at Caspian and she's like, "If you go and you crest him, I will never forgive you for doing this." And he's like, "I thought that this infatuation with Leo would fade." And she's like, "I am literally telling you once again that I am in love with this man, and I always will be in love with this man."
She's like, why isn't this a why choose?
It's not clocking with you. So Caspian looks at her with disgust, and then what does he do? Doesn't talk to her again for several more days, because even though he's hundreds of years old, he still can't communicate.
He's still a man.
Men will do anything but communicate with their significant others. So she convinces Adelaide to help her prep for Gabriel's visit to the caves. It's decided that she's moving forward with this as a way to sway Gabriel to the basilisks, make him like them. Maybe he'll call off the revolution. Gabriel is so down to go to a sex party, and he isn't nervous at all once he's in the caves. So she brings him in here. She's like, "Hey, lose the clothes." Before she even gets lose out of her mouth, he's naked.
He just goes like this, and the clothes fall off.
He's actually, I know that this is like fantasy, but he like has tearaway Adidas pants and he just rips them off.
And he's like, "Whoa,
whoa," when he's like helicoptering. Okay, so he's so like overjoyed and not nervous at all. And Caspian clearly does not know what to make of this man. So
freak ass human.
He's like, "What the hell?" Like, he might actually fit in here.
You know what?
He's like, "Hey, I can't guarantee many things, but what I can guarantee is your safety. Also can guarantee that you can let your freak flag fly. Blah, blah, blah. Let your freak flag fly here, baby." So they make their way into the banquet hall. And as predicted, Gabriel fits right in with the basilisks. He is immediately taken with Damon, the youngest brother. Tem refuses to introduce him to Apollo or the Seneca men, who are currently standing across the banquet hall and glaring in her direction. Now, I know that Kelly recalls the cum fountain. Do you all recall the cum fountain? Because it's making its grand reappearance.
Remember, it's like ecstasy.
It is. And Gabriel insists that he should try it. And Tem is like, "Absolutely not."
It's like ecstasy, acid, and alcohol.
Yeah.
In this realm.
Yeah. Gabriel's like, "Well, you won't let me do anything. And the whole point of this little field trip is for me to experience basilisk customs. So I think I should get to try the cum." So
give me that cum.
Give me that cum drink. So at Damon's insistence that it will not harm Gabriel, Tem is like, "Fine, go ahead and have a taste of it." And then things start to really get freaky. Damon and Gabriel end up kissing. And then Gabriel and Tem are kissing. And then Tem is standing there watching Gabriel and Damon kiss. Caspian comes up behind Tem, and he and Tem start getting down to business. They are fucking. Then it's like a flat out like orgy in this banquet hall. Tem is kissing literally anyone that she can see.
Oh my gosh.
She's letting other people touch her besides Caspian, even though she was like, "I don't want anyone to touch me but you." Caspian's over in the corner jerking himself off while watching others pleasure her. And all the while, Apollo is like lurking in the periphery. Like anywhere that Tem turns, she can still see Apollo out of the corner of her eye.
Like a predator.
Yeah.
Just lurking.
He's got like his little binoculars on. After a while, Caspin tells Tem that he wants her to kiss Apollo, and she's like, I don't want to. So Apollo walks up anyway, and he's like, hey, my king, that brother of mine, he is demanding in my head that I kiss you. He commands it. And she's like, absolutely not. I will not be rushed.
He's like, give me them lips.
On your face.
The face.
Not the nether ones.
Not your nether lips.
They find Gabriel again. He's still with Damon, and he doesn't want to leave. Damon and Caspin both agree that Gabriel's allowed to stay with Damon. He'll be safe. And Tem's like, okay, cool. I'll see you in the morning. As she and Caspin go to take their leave, they hear this like horrible cry piercing across the courtyard. And when they turn, they see that this wall is painted with blood. Reading the words, give her to us. And the irony of this is not lost on Tem. If you can recall, feed us in the chicken shit on the church wall. Mm-hmm. So Gabriel ends up going with Damon. Caspin whisks Tem away to their quarters where he makes slow, sensual love to her. And Tem's like, something about this time feels final. And I was like, okay. Why though?
What are we leading to here?
But why though? Caspin informs her of several things. If the Dracones do not give her to the Senecas will take her by force. He will do everything that he can to protect her. Also, by the way, Damon, when he took Gabriel to his room this night, that means that he chose Gabriel to be his mate. And Tem's more freaked out about that than she is about this whole like other quiver possibly taking her by force thing. She's like, I gotta go figure this out. I gotta take Gabriel back to the village. I gotta question Damon. Mm-hmm. She reaches out via the mind link and she's like, hey, do you actually like my friend? And Damon's like, I promise you my feelings are true.
Aww.
So the next morning, once she drops Gabriel off at the village, she goes back to her parents' house where she spends most of the day in the garden with her mother before she talks to her father about basilisk business, mainly bloodletting. She's like, but will it hurt? And he's like, yeah, obviously. Initially,
you're bleeding, you're losing blood.
Initially, it's going to hurt, and it's going to hurt a lot, but eventually you'll get used to it. She's like, I can't transition anymore, and we learn that that's because when she crested Leo, she was in love with him. When you crest somebody that you are in love with, you have to consummate the crest. And she's like, well, we can't do that because he's betrothed to Evelyn. But also, if I have sex with that man, this pesky little blood blonde curse is going to trigger, and then Caspin's going to kill me. So it's either Leo dies or I die. What's the choice that we make here? What do we do? What does one do? We're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
We'll make it work.
We'll make it work. She runs all the way to the castle, sprints there for her Sunday dinner. When they walk in, Caspin does not let her sit at the table. Instead, he says something to the effect of, let's get this bloodletting show on the road. It's a little bit more eloquent than that. We're going to skip these pleasantries, despite telling Tem via the mind link that she doesn't have to do this. So the whole time he's talking out loud, he's in Tem's head saying, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do this. Leo and Caspin both wish to escort Tem to the dungeons, but both Tem and Evelyn say, no, you won't, at the same time. So it ends up being Leo that walks Tem to the doors. He doesn't go into the dungeon with her. She will not let him. After they leave, Evelyn ends up going to bed for the night. Caspin goes off to skulk and rage elsewhere. We don't know where he went. Tem,
hunting or something.
Probably just ghosting his woman. Tem battles her urges to touch Leo the whole time. She's like, it's the crest that's making me want to do this. Like, I can repress my feelings. He eventually begs her to use the crest to tell him to stop, and she tells him that she won't allow him to cheat his way out of this. This guard ends up walking her into this cell where the bloodletting is going to take place, and she hears someone say from the cell across from her, what brings you here tonight, Temperance? And it's Leo's father. Of course it is.
Right.
Maximus and Tem talk about the alleged letter that he sent Evelyn. There wasn't one. And how Evelyn is exactly what she seems, greedy.
Evil.
Because what we learn is that Maximus paid Evelyn to leave Leo. They talk about history and how it's doomed to repeat itself because we will often forget history. He tells Tem that she's smart, but eventually Tem grows irritated and she ends up telling him to shut up.
She's like, just stop.
She's like, dude, I'm bleeding from my fingertips. Please just shut the fuck up. She finishes with the bloodletting. She's super weak when it's done.
Does it turn to gold immediately?
Yes.
Okay. It's like a block of gold?
No, like they hook up these things to her fingers, and as it draws out, it like, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, you should read it.
Maybe.
So she's super weak because she's lost a lot of blood. When she gets to the doors of the dungeon, Leo is not there waiting for her as he promised, nor is Caspin. Are we surprised? She's struggling to walk, using the wall to lean up against to help her. From behind, she hears someone calling her name. She turns around. It's Leo. He's drunk, more drunk than she's seen him since the I can't say
Frisky 60.
Every time. I can't say it. Frisky 60. He asks if there's anything he can get for her, and she obliges him, thinking about how it would be nice to rest before going back to the caves. She's like, I'm not up for being jostled around in a carriage on my way home. They go to the parlor. They end up talking about Evelyn, the bloodletting, their feelings. Leo demands Tem tell him that she wants him. So she's like, yeah, I do. I want you. They're standing super close together, close enough that he's able to pull the top down of her dress in like a little V and see her cleavage. He touches her hair. He like twirls a curl around his finger, and then he's like touching her waist. He slides his hand up between her boobs, and then he like honk honk on her nips a few times.
She got really excited.
Got really excited about
Tony. She just threw her book. I know you're not watching.
Tony, actually, the video is on Spotify, so you probably will see me throw my book. So he pinches her nips a few times. She wants to just let him fuck her, but she knows that she can't. And she's like, I want you to fuck me, but you can't.
My husband will die.
My husband will kill me.
I will die.
Well, she doesn't tell him that. She won't tell him that.
Oh, yeah.
So he gets mad at her, and she ends up leaving. Once she's back in the cave, wouldn't you know it, Caspin, nowhere to be found. So she tittles her bits thinking of Leo.
This'll have to do for now.
That'll do. She's super horny even after she finishes. We still have no idea where Caspin is. She's attempted to reach out to him a couple of times, keeps finding that their connection's closed. So she reaches out to Apollo, who answers her, despite being mid-coitus. And yes,
dirty dog.
That dirty dog does send her visions of him fucking the female basilisk. The female basilisk that he's with. So Tem reaches out to him specifically to ask him to teach her how to petrify. And he's like, sure.
Oh, this is the part.
Meet me outside in like 10 minutes. Don't wear any clothes.
Cash me outside. How about that?
Cash me outside. No clothes. How about that? They make their way to the outskirts of the village to petrify this old-ass chicken farmer because Tem's humanity prevents her from killing somebody who doesn't deserve it, and this man is close to death anyway.
So it's fine.
It's fine. Apollo's like, you smell that? He's close. He's close to death anyway. We might as well just do it.
Do him in. Do him a favor.
Do him a solid. He can't see anyway. He's blind. Apollo has to help her transition into her basilisk because obviously due to her failure to consummate the crest with Leo, she is still unable to transition. She's a little embarrassed, but Apollo's like, it's cool. I got this. I'm strong. I'm powerful. Let me show you how much of a man I am. Once the man actually realizes that they're there, he's terrified. Apollo's like, okay, we got to focus on the man's heart because now we take... Like, okay, take what? His life.
Oh.
And therefore, his power. When he's well and truly petrified, she finds herself painfully aroused. The last time I told Kelly about this, I looked over and she was staring at me in disgust. I couldn't control myself. So Apollo tells her that she must come. Otherwise, she will never be able to come again. And he's like, and if you'd like, I can help. Obviously, she feels betrayed that she wasn't informed of this beforehand and tells him, I'll just do it myself. But she finds that she can't really move because the arousal is so debilitating. So she asks him to help her.
Of course.
She's like, hey, I'm not having sex with you, but please help me. So,
we can do anything else but that.
So he uses his fingers. Once she's done, he jerks himself off while she talks to him in his head about what he wants to do to her. In his wildest dreams, he fucks her in front of Caspin. She tells him to finish on her clit. Once he's finished, he uses his fingers again to work his essence into her.
And then he makes her a vibraclaw necklace.
No, he doesn't. They return to the caves, and he shows her the room where they keep all those they've petrified.
This is the part I was like little trophies? Or
Yep, trophies of petrified humans.
This is my old man.
He tells her that he will bring the old man here later. She offers to help him, but he won't allow it. Something about them being heavy and it's not a burden that he wants her to carry. And she's like, I think he means that in more ways than one. Girl, get over it. Oh my God. Then he walks her back to her chambers and she thanks him. And he's like, for what? And she's like, thanks for making me come. And then she walks into the room and finds her husband standing there by the fire.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
Fancy meeting you here.
I just picture this because he turns to her, but I picture it in like slow motion. He turns to her with his nostrils flaring and he's like, tell me, Temperance, why is my brother's cum in your pussy?
Oh my gosh. Does he say that?
Yes.
I can smell it.
I can smell it from here. She tells him, hey, so remember how you wouldn't teach me how to petrify? Well, guess who did? Your brother, Apollo.
Your brother.
He finally tells her that he didn't want to teach her to petrify because he feared that her human side would feel immeasurable guilt over taking another life. She finds that he's right. She already feels guilty. He's like, what will your little prince think when he finds out? And she's like, well, obviously he won't. And stop calling him a little prince. He's a king. They continue to fight, but ultimately this man always softens to her. She's like, I want you. And he goes to touch her, but his hand stops an inch from her. He frowns. And she's like, oh, he must be more mad at me than he initially let on. But then she sees this look of utter fear cross his face. And he's like, I cannot touch you. So he turns around, takes off out of their chambers, starts sprinting down this hallway in search of Adelaide. He doesn't even wait for Tem. She's like following after him, Phoebe Buffay running again. They find Adelaide in a rather compromising position with Caspin's sister's head between her legs. Caspin,
you know, just normal things.
Bursts in, looks at Adelaide, looks at his sister, looks back at Adelaide, turns to his sister and says, get out, leave.
Wipe your face.
Wipe your face and get out. Clean him up. And then he launches into explaining to Adelaide that he and Tem can't touch. Adelaide's like, I've seen this before. And Tem's like, what is going on?
Is it like a magnet? Like the opposite of a magnet? Like he just can't?
That's kind of how I pictured it.
Okay.
So Tem's like, so out of the loop. She has no idea what's going on. She keeps asking what it means. And Adelaide finally turns to her and is like, hey, what it means is that the Seneca Quiver has contested your marriage and there's going to be a tournament held to determine who actually gets to have your hand in marriage. They're challenging it. Caspin is like, okay, and by the way, we know who contested the marriage. It has to come from the highest ranking member of the Seneca Quiver. And of course, that is Ro. So when I think of a contested marriage in like fantasy terms, I would think of like a battle to the death, right? That's what we would all think. But that is not the case in the Basilisk world. Okay? 12 contestants are going to enter into this contest to fight for Tem's heart through her pleasure. She gets to choose the 12 contenders, and it is definitely a sex thing. Now, when she's talking to them about this, Adelaide is like, it doesn't have to be just men. If you want women in there, we can have women in there too. And Tem's like, well, you know, I did enjoy my time with Adelaide, but I don't think I want to repeat.
Maybe.
Probably not.
But I'm more of a strictly dickly type of girl.
Yeah. She's like, I really don't want to do this. And Adelaide and Caspin are like, well, if you refuse, then it will be a fight to the death because you kind of have to. You don't have a choice in the matter. If you try to kill yourself, Caspin dies too because of the blood bond. And he's like, by the way, I heard that. I heard you think that you're going to kill yourself. I'm not really in a rush to die, so maybe we're not going to do that.
So let's just not.
There are several days that go by where they can't touch. Caspin's out hunting, avoiding Tem. Loneliness is getting to her. She keeps calling out to him. He's like, okay, I'm going to come back. When I come back, I want you laid out on that bed, ready to come when I get home. So she is. There's a masturbation scene between the two with our guy blowing his load all over her multiple times, and she loves it.
Just like a lotion.
Then it's time for dinner at the castle again. Leo tells her she will not be giving her blood anymore, and they will find another way. Evelyn's furious about this. Leo's like, hey, Tem, I'd like to speak with you privately again. But Evelyn snaps out that he's just looking for another way to be alone with her and humiliate her. And then she turns to Caspin, and she's like, you know what? Scratch that from the record. You're trying to humiliate us. And Caspin's like, I would never stoop so low as to be humiliated by trivial human things.
Maybe try something else in your kingdom.
Yeah.
Maybe trade.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe
we don't need
you could take out a loan
Seriously.
Ugh. Silence follows her declaration, with Leo telling her he's negotiating on behalf of the kingdoms, but Evelyn tells him he shouldn't be negotiating with snakes. At which point, Caspian's head snaps up, and in a deathly quiet voice, he tells Evelyn, "Do not call me that." Tem and Leo end up having another contentious talk, and she refuses to answer any questions regarding her feelings for him. He's like, "I want to know if you still love me." And she's like, "What about you? Do you still love me?" And he's like, "Well, if you have to ask me that, then you certainly don't know me at all." When she gets back to the cave, Caspian's sleeping. She wakes him up, and they end up talking about what she says, everything and nothing. And she feels like this connects them in a much more intimate way, since their bond is more of a physical thing. She's like, "I don't think that we would have ever talked like this if we'd maintained our ability to touch." Shortly thereafter, we have the tournament set to start. He makes her another claw, but then Caspian has to go meet with the council, so Adelaide's the one who's stuck explaining the tasks. There are 3. First, we have to have a show of strength between Ro and Caspian, who are going to transition and fight. First one to transition back to human form is the loser. Second, all of the contestants will be jerking off in front of her. The ones who come the fastest are deemed the most fitting because she would want a husband, or she should want a husband, who is attracted to her. Once that is done, the 11 men, because Caspian does not get involved in this, the 11 men that she's chosen, aside from Caspian, will essentially run a train on her so that she can choose her true love. And it's not just her who chooses her true love. It's her heart that has to choose her true love. She's worried.
Makes 0 sense to
I know,
me.
whatever.
It's like, why?
Just because. This book is unhinged. It doesn't
throw
have
some extra sexy
It doesn't have
scenes
to
in
make
there.
sense, Kelly. It's literally...
But I'm like, why doesn't he get to participate?
Because he has been fucking her for the last year.
He loves him.
Yeah. So it should be, if he's meant to be, she should know already.
Okay.
That's
We'll go with that. We'll simplify.
we're just simpletons here. She is really worried about the whole let me fuck everybody part and my heart being pulled in more than one direction, because I love Caspian, but I also love Leo.
Just hope all these people are
All right.
sexually transmitted. STD
There are no
tested
STDs
first.
here. There are none. So there are alternates for this. For whatever reason, it doesn't make any sense, but Caspian has chosen Apollo to be his alternate, so we assume that Ro will choose one of his brothers as his alternate. I don't know why there are alternates when they're not fighting to the death, but...
It's fine.
It's fine. Tem makes her way to this lake, swims around for a little bit before... It's an underground lake, if you remember from the first one, if you've read the first book. She finds this grotto that she's like, okay, there are people fucking all over the place. This one seems unoccupied. I'm going in. When she goes in there, she hears this voice boom out from behind her. We have to stop meeting like this. It's Apollo again. They're going round and round, and she's like, I know what your motives are for wanting to sleep with me. And he's like, well, then go ahead and tell me what you know. She's convinced that it will anger Caspian for she and Apollo to sleep with each other, and she refuses to be a pawn in their game. Apollo's like, Caspian will not get mad. I know that you like my advances, and also I might love you.
Also, my brother doesn't seem to mind.
Yeah, and also doesn't really care.
On you.
It's a really intimate conversation that ends with Apollo straightening up, looking Tem dead in the eyes, and saying, hello, brother, a la the Salvatore brothers. Oh my gosh. So Caspian decides that he's going to enter Tem's mind, and he's in Apollo's mind too, and he's like, hey, touch her. Apollo's like,
I can't,
okay.
so just do it.
Okay, cool. She's like, fine, he can touch me. Caspian tells her to kneel. She does. Then we get this extremely detailed depiction of Tem blowing Apollo while Caspian watches. And it's basically, yes, I can't touch her, so I might as well just let my brother do it. Once Apollo finishes, Caspian leaves, and he's like to Tem, come find me when you're done. She and Apollo end up making out for a little while before he points out the claw. He doesn't call it that, but he's like, you can make those too. What ensues is Apollo telling Tem she can make them into other shapes with hints of anal. He sends her a vision of Tem pegging him with one of these claws. And ultimately, Tem ends up making a cock ring for Apollo. I just am so aware that your daughter is out there.
They can't hear us.
He tells her when she gets the cock ring on him, he tells her to make it tighter. And she does. She also sends him some pulses through it, which he's surprised that Caspian taught her, considering Caspian won't teach her shit else. Then we get a really detailed depiction of Tem basically dry humping Apollo, which I was like, is it really dry humping if there's no clothes as a barrier? But
right.
I guess he didn't penetrate her, so
We'll
I guess.
let it go. We'll accept it.
She dry/wet humps him until she comes. And then she's like, all right, I'm done. I'm going to go find my husband.
Thank you for that. I'll be seeing you.
She like dusts off her legs.
Well,
brushes off her knees. She finds Caspin and they make their way to where the basilisks are gathered for the selection of the contestants. Ro approaches them and it seems that he's used his blood to make himself a brand new shiny golden cock. Caspin is like, hey, I'm super mad. We're not allowed to do that. It is so like vastly against our customs that he's done this. It also seems to have given Ro this like undeniable power. Whatever. Tem goes up on the stage. She chooses the remaining basilisks to be contestants using her own basilisk. Like she shuts off her human side. One of the ones that she ends up choosing is the blonde one that looked like Leo from the Ouroboros. You know, the circle jerk thing.
Circle jerk, yeah.
Yep. Then this woman who appears to be pregnant but is actually a new mother to represent their goddess comes out to select who she thinks will win. She like walks down the row of the 12 contestants and she kind of slows down when she gets to Ro, but then she moves on and she ends up selecting Apollo, which causes Tem to freak out. And Adelaide basically screams at Tem, "That's her opinion!
It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter. That's just who she thinks will win." They have
She's
dinner.
wrong.
They have dinner. Tem's sitting between the two Dracon brothers at the head table. They both tell her that they would rather die than have Ro take her. Shortly thereafter, Adelaide approaches, saying there's someone here for Tem. She turns to see Gabriel striding in. Gabriel approaches her and in his typical fashion proceeds to flirt with every person in sight, including Apollo, who was looking at him like, who the fuck is this? Tem is simply concerned for Gabriel's safety, which Caspin's like, I promise you, once again, he will be safe here. He's with Damon. Damon's not letting anything happen to him. Pretty soon a scuffle breaks out and Tem thinks that Gabriel's potentially in danger, but Caspin's like, oh no, you see them over there? It's a friendly little betting ring about, what's going to happen here. Gabriel's like, okay, well, if we're betting, I'm betting on you, Caspin. But then he turns to Apollo and mouths, you too. He clearly couldn't miss the sex tournament. Mm-mm. She and Caspin get to spend some time together watching the revelry before he's like, okay, you go and get some rest. I can't go with you. It's kind of similar to the human tradition of brides not being seen by their spouse on the night of the wedding or whatever. When she gets to her room, Apollo's standing outside and she confesses all of her sins to him, mainly in the realm of being in love with Leo. And then he goes against his previous statement of don't come to me for comfort, and he holds her and comforts her. I was like, okay, whatever.
So you're lying.
So you're a liar too. Which Caspin does tell us at the beginning that his brother's a liar, which basilisks can't lie. And he's like, you deceive though. You deceive people. So she goes into her room. Gabriel's in her bed. She snuggles up with him to go to sleep until midnight. At that point, Adelaide comes in to wake her up. It's time for the tournament to begin. Before the fight...
She's snuggling with her bestie?
Naked. You know what it's like to snuggle with your gay bestie naked?
Yeah, always.
Leave a comment below.
Tony? Just kidding.
Before the fight between Ro and Caspin can begin, they must all swear to uphold the outcome of the tournament, including Tem. She's escorted to her suite by Adelaide, where she asks if Apollo can join them. And Adelaide's like, why don't you ask him? I'm sure that he would be honored to come up here. And of course, Apollo is more than happy to oblige. Tem cannot calm down because if we remember from the last book, she is ruled by her emotions. So she turns to Apollo and she's like, hey, do the thing where the basilisks can, calm them down. She's watching the fight. She's finding herself more and more turned on. She asks Adelaide about it, and Adelaide's like, you can have sex with one of the contestants if you wish. And Apollo's like, me? I'm right here. She's like, it's fine. So the golden cock appears to give Ro this super strength that even Caspin, with his father's power and his own, cannot rival because Ro gets the upper hand. He breaks the rules by biting Caspin in the neck, which forces Caspin to transition back to his human form, which means that Ro has won this round.
Ooh.
All that it means that Ro has won is that he's guaranteed a spot in the final 3 of the 3rd round of the tournament, which means that he will go second to last when it's time for Tem to fuck each of these dudes. The next round is for every man to pleasure himself. We've already talked about this. First one who finishes gets to be fucked last. It's a spot of honor because it's like, oh, if I fuck you last, you're going to be the most in my memory or whatever.
Yeah.
Even Adelaide is surprised by the swiftness of the winner. We know who finishes first, right? Tell us, Kelly.
Caspian.
No, Apollo.
Oh yeah. I said that last time too.
Yeah,
Caspian's not even in
Caspian's not in this. Apollo finishes.
Cut that out so I don't look stupid.
I'm not cutting it out. Apollo finishes within like 30 seconds, and Adelaide's like, damn, Apollo. Tem is told that the third round can last as long or as short as she wants. She is the one in full control. Some of the basilisks. Okay, so Tem's like, all of you, lay down on your backs. So it's all
get yourself ready.
All of them on their backs.
And then the daddy stick.
So some of them Tem rides for multiple minutes. Some of them she's on for like 3 or 4 thrusts. She doesn't
like one's like a dipstick. All right.
She doesn't kiss anyone until she gets to the Leo looking basilisk. And she does not climax until she gets to him either. I think that he's the only other one besides Apollo that gets her off. Okay, so she obviously like finishes with him, kisses him, moves on. It's Ro's brother. She thrusts like one time before she stands straight up. And she's like,
just
get
sits down
here. And then it's Ro's turn. Ro enters her mind when she slides down onto him. And he's like, I know that you love the human king. She's stalling, but she can't seem to get off of him. He tells her that his newly crafted golden stick has made him strong and powerful as Caspian, maybe even more so. He's convinced that Tem will choose him because of this power. He's really convinced that Tem just gets off on power.
And she's like, nah.
But she can't get off of him. She looks at Apollo, who's laying there just like on his back.
At the ready.
And he enters her mind. And
he has his arms up, just patiently waiting.
He enters her mind and he's like, what can I do for you? What do you need? And she's like, I just need you to help me. So Apollo stands up as soon as she thinks it, rips her off of Ro, who's literally livid. Tem's like, excuse me, you promised to uphold the outcome. You've already broken so many rules. I needed help getting off of you because for some reason I just couldn't get off of you.
You show up here with your golden penis with its hooks.
Your golden penis clawed into me or something. Shit. Anchored me down. Has anybody read Bride? It's a knot.
I would like to read it.
I haven't. You should.
Okay.
He knotted her. Fellow freaks. Leave us a comment. You'll find out when you read Bride. So she turns to Apollo, remembering he once told her not to come to him for comfort, but to come to him when she needed fucked in a way that his brother can't. And she's like, well, your brother can't fuck me right now, so let's go. She says via the mind link to him, fuck me. And he does. The whole time that he is inside of her, he's giving her this grand gesture speech about how much he would love to do this every day, how his brother's so lucky to have her. It was literally paragraphs and paragraphs of this man just talking to her in her head while he's fucking her.
Wow. She's like, why are you so obsessed with me?
He literally. It lasts a really long time, and this is also the only one that she engages in foreplay with, and he's the only one besides the Leo lookalike that she allows to kiss her. Once they finish, with her leaning down to whisper good boy into his ear, it's time for her heart to choose. She has to drink this elixir that will force her heart to be true, but of course, she's taking forever to decide because her heart's being pulled in 2 different directions.
Oh, no.
She loves Caspian and Leo equally. Then Apollo's in her head being like, you have to choose. It's taking too long. You have to choose. And she's like, I can't. And he's like, you have to. So she's like, in this moment, attempting to kill her human side, but before she has a chance to fully do it, Apollo reaches over and touches her, and she screams out Caspian's name.
Shocking.
Then there's a celebration where Gabriel tells Tem he's surprised by her endurance, and then she and Caspian are fucking until they can't anymore. They proclaim their love. Tem tells Caspian, you're acting drunk. And he's like, you've never even seen me drunk. And she's like, well, then let's go ahead and remedy that.
Get out the cum fountain.
He goes to the cum fountain. Apollo pulls her out into the hallway to talk to her about what he did. He apparently took her feelings for Leo, and in doing so, now understands the depth of those feelings. He knows of the crest and all of the issues that this is causing her, and tells her that she has to tell Caspian. He tells her he will not watch her die, but that if she doesn't tell Caspian, her undoing will be her own fault. Before she has a chance to say anything, she hears Caspian's voice calling her name, and he is already drunk at this point.
Uh-oh.
he's like also really jealous. Like, what are you doing out here with her? To his brother. And I'm like, bro, you wanted her to fuck him. Like,
right.
Are you serious?
You were like helping her masturbate in front of him.
So this is when he finds out the true depth of Tem's feelings for Leo, and he fully loses his shit. Apollo puts himself between Tem and Caspin, which makes him even more mad. He's drunk. He wants to know how long Apollo's known about this. He also wants Tem to admit she made the right choice and that she doesn't love Leo. And she's like, I made the right choice, but she refuses to admit that she doesn't love Leo.
She already told him in the beginning that she loved him.
She's told him
and he's like, nah, you don't.
She's told him so many times. And I'm just like, dude, your stubbornness was your own undoing. Mm-hmm. The more they talk, the angrier Caspin becomes. Eventually, he and Apollo start to physically fight, and they only stop when Caspin's neck starts to bleed where Ro bit him. Apollo tells Tem that Ro's siphoning power from Caspin, who is now fleeing the scene. She tries to go after him, but Apollo stops her, and he's like, Caspin is in no state to hear you right now. He asks what she loves about Leo, and she tells him everything. He asks if she loves Leo enough to forsake his brother. She can't answer that. He tells her that she must be prepared to lose them both if she can't decide. She goes to her parents after this, seeking solace from the only person that she can, which is her father. He tells her that he knows that she can buy time on Leo's life by kissing him, and she's like, well, that will be impossible. She doesn't see Caspin after this. Days go by, and soon enough, it's Sunday. She ends up attending dinner at the castle alone. When she gets there, she finds Leo sitting alone at the table. They end up eating in silence. At the end, she stands up to leave, and he's like, can you please just stay? They make their way into the library where he's like playing with this letter opener. She's like, have you written to me? And he's like, yeah, I have. And he's just playing with the letter opener the whole time. She tells him that she misses him. And as soon as the words are out of her mouth, he is on her. He has that letter opener in his hand, and he's sawing the straps of her dress.
Give me them titties.
Pretty soon, the dress strap is just dangling by a single thread before it snaps. And as soon as it snaps, she rips her whole dress off. Gosh. He tells her, no skin. If our skin doesn't touch, it's not cheating. Then he tells her to get on the table, and he uses the letter opener. Spread them. He uses the letter opener to fuck her.
The sharp side.
Nope, not the sharp side. The handle. He ends up cutting himself with the sharp side, though. And he tells Tem in one of the letters, you should have heard what I had to tell Evelyn about how I hurt myself.
Well, anyway, geez. Do you see the letters?
Yeah. You get to read the letter. So I don't remember if it was in the letters or if he tells her. In a second.
That's fine.
Later. You'll find out in a second. You'll find out. Okay, so after he fucks her with the letter opener, she gives him an over-the-pants handy, and both appear much healthier when they're done. So it seems like they didn't consummate the crust, but they've appeased it for now.
Okay.
She goes back to the caves and immediately throws the dress in the fire. Caspin's voice floats out, asking her where she's been. She throws the same question back at him, and he just tells her that he was with Apollo. Then he tells her that she looks beautiful, and soon they're kissing, and Tem's like, I don't even remember who was mad at who anymore. I remember.
We all do.
We all do. Before things start to heat up too much, Tem feels panic in her head. The other basilisks are in a tizzy over something. What is happening out there?
They're in a tizzy.
Someone's
throwing something.
Maybe. Someone has let a weasel into the den.
Oh, no.
A weasel's scent is deadly to a basilisk. Tem tells Caspin to let her go find the weasel before it does irreparable damage to the basilisk populace, I guess. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't want her to, but she insists that it won't hurt her, similar to how she can lie and how chickens are more of a mild annoyance than deadly. In the end, 46 basilisks lose their life at the hand of this weasel. Rather, the scent of this weasel. Tem insists on seeking it out. She knows that she's the only one who could safely dispose of it. She also knows that it was Vera who released the weasel in the caves. She saw her in the village after the tournament, and her parting words for Tem were, tell your husband to watch his back. Once the weasel's disposed of, she returns to Caspin and comforts him as best as she can, even taking on some of his grief for him. Apollo tells Tem that the basilisks owe her a debt. Shortly after the weasel attack, the wedding invitation arrives with the request for Tem and Caspin to stay at the castle overnight beforehand. Caspin is adamant that they have to go. It's customary. Evelyn ends up greeting them at the door, insisting on more girl talk and leaving Caspin to settle into their room. The girl talk is more of a pissing contest as to who deserves Leo. Evelyn closes out this chapter telling Tem she knows exactly how Leo feels for Tem because she found the letters that he wrote to her.
Ooh, scandal.
Scandal.
Watch out.
Evelyn tells Tem that Leo loves her and he always will. There's a whole lot more that happens, but the basic premise is that Evelyn confesses that Maximus paid her to leave Leo and then asks Tem to keep it between them. Leo interrupts the girls talking. Tem's like, I have something to tell you, and then proceeds to inform him of the 46 basilisks who died because of the weasel. Leo is simply there to get Evelyn because guests are arriving for their wedding, but he tells Tem that he'll give condolences to Caspin once he sees him. Evelyn is curious what will be done with the basilisk bodies, so Tem tells her that, as is custom, they will be burned and their ashes spread in the underground lake. And Evelyn's like, well, that would be a real waste, which infuriates Tem because she knows that Evelyn means to use these dead bodies as gold for bloodletting. You know, she wants to use these desecrated, she wants to desecrate these bodies.
First I was like, okay, and then I'm like, well, I guess it is.
Yeah.
A dead body.
A little disrespectful. Kelly was like, yeah, it is a waste. And I was like, wow, damn, Kelly, spit on their grave. Shit. Leo
They're
and
just
Evelyn.
snakes. It's fine.
They're humans.
Just kidding. I'm not, no offense to you basilisk out there.
Yeah, all you basilisk listeners, we know you're not a snake, you're a shifter. Leo and Evelyn end up leaving. Tem goes to fetch Caspin, and they all make their way downstairs. They pass person after person, with Tem seeking out one particular face. She's looking for Gabriel. And when she finds him, he tells her that he is sure that Vera was behind the weasel stunt, but he knows that she was following orders. He tried to stop it from happening but it was too late, and he tried to stop it from happening because of Damon. At this point, Leo's giving a grand speech where he basically states nothing but facts, such as, Evelyn left, she came back. We're to be married,
And that's that. Sorry, I ruined it.
He doesn't actually talk about how he feels. After his speech is over, Tem and Caspin hear some of the people around them talking about how Leo's upgraded from his previous wife because the last wife was a chicken farmer and they don't want the royal children growing up playing with chicken shit. Tem feels embarrassed by this. Leo overheard and he is so angry. He turns to the person and is like, do not talk about my wife like that. And that makes Evelyn mad. So she's like, let's go outside. She grabs him by his ear and takes him outside just so that she can yell at him. Caspin takes Tem up to their room where she has a breakdown. He holds her while she's going through the trenches. There's a knock on their door. It's Leo. He's like, I'd like a word with you, Tem. Caspin won't say yes or no to Tem going to speak with Leo. He's like, it's up to you. She's like, fine, I'm going to go and talk to him. And he tells her once again to command him to do something. Only this time he wants her to command him not to marry Evelyn. And she says that she is done making choices for him. He knows that something with the basilisk magic bound them together, but she won't explain it to him. He's really clearly upset about this, and she's like, I'm gonna have to leave. And he tells her that she's gonna have to leave, and she's like, but why? And he's like, because I'm gonna go and make a choice for myself. You told me that you won't make choices for me. I'm gonna do it for myself. So Tem goes back to the caves. They have a funeral for the fallen basilisks. It's a line of basilisks. Caspin is lighting each one on fire, and then he'll spread the ashes. So Apollo is standing on one side of Tem, Adelaide is standing on the other, and they're all holding hands while Caspin's doing these honors. Afterwards, Caspin and Tem retreat to their chambers where they spend time wrapped up in each other, i.e. they bone for a week straight. Everyone grieves differently.
It's okay. It's okay. We don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge. Sunday rolls around again, and Caspin tells Tem that she will go to the dinner alone and that Leo should apologize to him in person. Caspin will not accept the apology otherwise, and he tells Tem that he is flat out done going to visit the human prince, and if Leo wants to apologize, he must come to the caves. At the dinner, Tem tells Leo as much. She expects that she'll have to coax Leo into going to the caves, but he agrees almost immediately, asking when. Tem reaches out to Caspin to ask, and he tells her that Leo can come to the council meeting tonight, and if he doesn't come tonight, he will not be welcome any other time. Leo agrees, so Tem takes him to the caves. As is custom, once they enter the caves, she says, drop it. And Leo's like, I'm not going to do that. That is so improper. And she's like, you will be the only one in there wearing clothes. They will see it as a slight. Just take your clothes off.
In that case, psh.
And he's like, I still feel so uncomfortable. And she's like, okay, once you're naked, I'll also be naked. And he's like, done.
Say no more.
She's like, excuse me. And he's like, I am but a man, Tem. Once she's naked, he's staring at her and his weenie's getting a little, and she's like, stop staring at me. And he's like, once again, I am but a man. And I very badly want to fuck you. And she's like, I can tell. Put it away. Tuck
it.
He tells Tem that he cannot die tonight, and she tells him that he won't, and she will not let anything happen to him. She promises. He nods. They enter the council meeting together. Once they enter, this female basilisk starts like goading Tem, talking about how she would love to sleep with a human. Caspin tells her enough, and then in Tem's head tells her that Leo can begin. So Leo gives this very short and direct apology, explaining that he would never sanction an attack on the basilisks and talking about how he ceased the bloodletting. It seems that the basilisks are all favoring the apology. They favor directness, so they appreciate that he's not like waffling on. One of the Seneca basilisks brings up how they do not accept the marriage between Tem and Caspin, who reminds him that Cora, the goddess, sanctioned their marriage, and he can no longer dispute it. As Caspin's talking, there's this resounding crack through the room, and they look up and see that the ceiling is starting to like crumble. Everyone starts to run out of this council meeting. Caspin pulls Tem and Leo out into this hallway where he tells them that they must sleep together. Leo is like, what the fuck is happening?
Where did that
and Tem's
come from?
like, I can't, the curse. There's a lot of back and forth about why she can't do this, but Caspin keeps insisting. She looks him in his eyes and tells him not to leave her, and he tells her that he never will, except for just this once.
Except for right now.
Right now. He tells her once again to go take Leo to their chambers and sleep with him because death is on their doorstep, essentially. There being Leo's doorstep. Like, he's like, you can smell the decay on him.
Oh, like he's decaying from the inside.
Yes. He does actually ask Tem, can't you smell it?
Oh.
And she's like, oh, fuck. He tells her that he has to leave, and she's like, but I thought that you said you'd never leave me. And she's like, where will you be going? And he's like, I'm going to run as far away as I can get, because as soon as you sleep with Leo, the curse is going to draw me back. So he has to leave, but he'll be back.
And she's like, all right,
cool.
good.
She wants to know what happens then, but he won't answer. Instead, he looks at Leo and tells him to take care of her.
Brittany lost it?
No, I didn't lose it yet. I did cry my eyes out reading this book. So Leo and Tem do the damn deed, but because Tem waited so long, her basilisk side is like, hurt him. So she reaches out to Caspin to find out how not to do this. He tells her that she has to think of anything else. And she's like, well, what did you think of? And he was like, I thought of you dying.
Oh my gosh.
Meanwhile,
romance. Leo's laying there like a corpse.
Literally a corpse. So they finish. Tem successfully doesn't hurt Leo. Someone starts pounding on the door. It's Apollo. He's like, Ro is on his way. You have to leave with Leo right now.
Dang.
And she's like, I am not leaving.
I just got done
boning this man. I am not leaving. I have so much power because they draw power from sex. She's like, I'm not leaving. I have to fight Ro. I'm the most powerful person under this mountain. If I don't stay here and fight him, y'all will not stand a chance. Gabriel and Damon then show up, and Damon's like, yo, Apollo, why are Tem and Leo still here? And Apollo's like, they're kind of difficult to convince to leave. That's why they're still here.
Jackasses won't listen.
Tem continues to beg Apollo to let her stay and fight Ro. He's like, you have to go because I cannot protect you from both Caspin and Ro. She's like, okay, great. Choose one. I'm going to take Ro, and you fight Caspin for me. And he's like, oh my gosh. So he kisses her, and Leo's like, and he's like, all right, here. I will let you stay. She tells Damon to get Gabriel and Leo to safety by taking them to her parents' cottage. As they're leaving, she overhears Leo ask Gabriel who that man was who kissed her. And she hears Gabriel tell Leo that it was Caspin's brother. And he's like, his brother?
Say what?
What is going on? After Damon takes the two humans and leaves, she takes off like a bat out of hell to find Ro. She finds him in the cavern by the lake, and when he sees her, he's like, "Oh, Temperance, how nice of you to join me.
I've been waiting for you.
I've been waiting for you." They battle. Tem's not strong enough to take him. Oh, they transition, so they're fighting as basilisks. She is losing the battle, though. To make matters worse, Caspin is there, and he is trying to kill her.
He is out for blood.
He is like, "You've wronged me." Suddenly, she remembers once that Adelaide had told her that there's a legend that Tem's able to harness her power as the hybrid to channel their goddess Cora, so she somehow magically does that.
She just figures it out on the fly.
She like swims to the bottom of the lake and touches Cora or whatever, and then comes back up, and I don't know. She kills Ro. She kills Ro and then turns to Apollo and Caspin, who are still locked in battle. Apollo's arguing with Caspin, who's demanding that Apollo just do it already. Tem enters Apollo's mind to find out what's going on, and he tells her that he has to kill Caspin, that he promised and there's no other choice. Tem tells him that he does not have her permission to kill Caspin, but he says it's not her permission that he needs. She broke the blood oath when she slept with Leo, and this is the only other option to prevent the curse from taking her life. And this is when I started to cry.
This is where the breakdown occurred.
Because I'm going to explain myself, okay? I hated Caspin in this book, but it doesn't erase the love that I had for Caspin in the last book. I am very Team Leo, but
she has a soft spot for Caspin.
I just wanted her to have all three of these men.
Why isn't this a why choose?
And maybe even Gabriel, too.
The gay bestie.
The gay bestie. You know what? Just a whole harem. She gets all of them. And Adelaide.
These.
Gosh. Okay, so Apollo bites Caspin in the neck. I was inconsolably sobbing at this point. I'll put the clip of me that I sent to Kelly just boo-hooing right here.
Overlay it
right here so that y'all can see me just sobbing hysterically. And you can also find my video on TikTok and my personal YouTube that I made shouting at Lindsay Straube for ruining my life. Caspin and Tem have a really tender moment on the sand by the lake, and then he tells Apollo, "Finish this.
Finish me."
Once he's gone, the gold necklaces that they wore as like their bonds of marriage, their bonds of matrimony start to melt. And so Tem's melts like into her chest and she screams, and Apollo tries to like take it from her, but she won't let him. She wants to feel the pain. And then at one point, she looks down at her hands and screams again because Tem had these like freckles underneath each of her fingers. It was 3 underneath each finger, so 12 on each hand. And those are gone. And so she knows that the basilisk side of her is dead. The basilisks do give her as much time under the mountain as she needs to mourn Caspin. Leo writes her a letter telling her to join him when she feels ready and that he loves her. She grieves Caspin until it becomes uncomfortable for her under the mountain, and then she meets up with Apollo and Damon, who refuse their first and second rights to her.
Rude.
It's been decided that they're going to return to the sea, which is where the basilisks originated, and that Gabriel is going with Damon.
In a little boat.
In their little boat. In his little boat on top of the sea, waiting for his one true love. Like Pirates of the Caribbean, where she waits on the sand for, what's his name? Orlando Bloom. I forget. Will Turner.
Yes.
After he's taken by Davy Jones or whatever. Anyway, she and Leo remarry at her parents' cottage, this time with Leo's sister Lily as the officiant. Damon and Gabriel are in attendance, but Apollo and Adelaide do not come. Apollo sends these flowers that Tem describes as like bruise colored, and Adelaide sends a collection of seashells. Tem wakes often in the night crying, but Leo's always there to soothe her. Every night before they go to bed, he kisses the scar that's on her chest between her boobs, and she asks him why, and he says, "Because it brought you to me." She finally decides to read the letters from Leo, but on top of the stack is a letter from Caspin, which also made me just bawl my fucking eyes out. Because Caspin is like, "I might have been your first love, but he'll be your last." And it was just very like, it made me love him a lot more because it was like he made peace with the fact that she could love both of them. And I was like, God damn it, me absolutely bawling my eyes out over a damn snake shifter. Then we roll into the letters that Leo wrote to Tem. They're just as ridiculous as you'd expect. Leo's angry, and yet his yearning and love show for Tem throughout them. There's a bonus chapter, which is just an unhinged way for Gabriel, Tem, and Caspin to have a 3-way. It takes place, we could imagine, back to mating season. After Gabriel drinks from the fountain, she takes him up to their chambers, and that's where it all happens.
Get it on.
Here are my key takeaways. Though I am staunchly Team Leo, it doesn't mean that I was thrilled to see Caspin die. I actually hated him in this book because of how much he chose to hurt Tem. I don't think that she and Caspin were good together, and I really wanted this to be a why choose style type romance, especially given the natures of basilisks fucking everything that moves. At the same time, I can appreciate the author wrote such strong characters to even have me rooting for both of them. Or all three, because I was literally obsessed with Apollo. I would reread this book. I gave it a 9 out of 10 for the horniness. I needed more from the sex scene between Leo and Tem when they finally consummated the crest to give it a full 10. My rating was a 4.75 out of 5 because I need to know what happened with the crest after Tem's basilisk side died. And I needed more to be explained with the breaking of the blood bond.
Okay.
And that's that. That's all she wrote.
That's it.
I hope that you've enjoyed this rendition of Smut Swap.
It was fun.
It was fun. You can follow us on YouTube and Spotify. Join the Smut Clurb on Fable. You can follow us on TikTok. We have some fun stuff over there. And let us know what books you want us to cover.
Yeah. Leave us a comment.
Yeah.
Just engage.
Or else.
We'll do something.
I mean, we'll keep posting.
If you follow us on Fable, take our poll.
Yeah, take our poll.
Trying to decide if we should go live.
Yeah.
With an episode.
Or two.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Could be scary.
It could be. Or it could be really fun.
Yeah, it could be fun.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Right,
Good night. Bye.